Place is scarier than Chernobyl. Chernobyl is considered one of the most frightening places in the world due to the disaster that occurred at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in 1986. The explosion and fire at the plant released a massive amount of radiation into the environment, which contaminated the area and caused the permanent evacuation of thousands of people. The once thriving city of Pripyat is now a ghost town, with empty buildings and an abandoned landscape creating a haunting atmosphere. The disaster at Chernobyl remains one of the worst nuclear accidents in history and is a chilling reminder of the consequences of technological failure. The site and its aftermath have been linked to numerous mysterious deaths, adding to the fear factor. Here are 7 places that are considered scarier than Chernobyl. Before we jump in, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. The Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel in Colorado is considered scary because of its association with Stephen King's The Shining and its reported ghost sightings. The hotel was built in 1909 and has a long history, including several strange and paranormal events reported by staff and guests over the years. Here are the few stories that are often associated with Stanley Hotel. Room 217. This room is one of the most haunted in the hotel, with people reporting strange occurrences such as lights turning on and off by themselves and ghostly spirits appearing in the room. Mrs. Wilson was the wife of the hotel's former owner and is said to haunt the halls of Stanley to this day. There have been sightings of her ghostly figure wandering the halls and peering out of windows. The Door to Hell. Number 6 on our list is the Door to Hell, also known as the Darwaza gas crater. It is considered scary due to its eerie appearance and the dangerous gases that are constantly emitted from the hole. The Door to Hell is a natural gas field located in Turkmenistan, and it is estimated to be over 70 meters wide and 20 meters deep. The story behind the Door to Hell is that Soviet geologists were drilling in the area in the 1970s when they stumbled upon a massive underground cave filled with natural gas. The ground beneath their drilling rig collapsed, creating a large sinkhole. In an effort to prevent the release of toxic gases into the atmosphere, the geologists set the sinkhole on fire, thinking it would burn out in a few days. Over 40 years later, the fire still burns, creating a fiery, hellish pit in the middle of the desert. The location is not easily accessible and is considered to be dangerous to approach, adding to its creepy reputation. Despite the dangers, tourists and adventurers continue to visit the site, drawn by the unique and frightening sight of the burning hole. 5 on our list. Winchester Mystery House in California is considered scary due to its strange and confusing design, as well as the legends and stories that surround it. The house was built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the inventor of the Winchester repeating rifle, and construction on the house continued almost continuously for 38 years, until her death in 1922. The house is considered strange and frightening because of its unconventional design, which includes doors that open to blank walls, stairs that lead to nowhere, and rooms with inverted floor plans. Some say that these strange design elements were intentional and were meant to confuse spirits and keep them from following Sarah Winchester. In addition to its strange design, the Winchester Mystery House is also associated with ghost stories and legends. Visitors have reported seeing ghostly spirits and hearing strange noises from within the house walls. Some believe that the ghosts of those killed by the Winchester rifle haunt the house, seeking revenge on the family. Number 4. The Tower of London is considered scary due to its long and bloody history as a royal palace, a prison, and a place of execution. The tower has been a symbol of power and fear for centuries, and many of England's most notorious criminals, including Anne Boleyn, Sir Thomas More, Guy Fawkes, were imprisoned and executed within its walls. In addition to its history as a prison, the Tower of London is also said to be haunted by several ghostly figures, including the ghost of Anne Boleyn, who was beheaded on the grounds of the tower, and the ghost of 2 young princes who were murdered within its walls in the 15th century. Visitors have reported seeing ghosts and hearing strange noises coming from within the tower. Today, the Tower of London is one of the city's most popular tourist attractions and a World Heritage Site. Visitors come to explore its history, see the crown jewels, and learn about its role in the history of England. The Island of the Dolls. It is located in Mexico. The island is considered scary due to its sinister and haunting atmosphere. The island was once the home of a monk named Julian Barrera, who lived there for many years and collected dolls from the river. He hung the dolls from the trees throughout the island, giving the place a creepy and unsettling appearance. The dolls themselves are said to be cursed and possessed by evil spirits, and the island is said to be haunted by the ghost of a young girl who drowned there many years ago. According to local legend, Julian hung the dolls in an attempt to make peace with the ghost of the girl and calm the evil spirits that haunted the island. The Catacombs of Paris. Second on our list is the Catacombs of Paris. In the late 18th century, the city of Paris was facing a grave problem. The cemeteries were overflowing with the dead, and the decaying smells and disease that came with them were becoming a major concern for the city's residents. To address this problem, the city officials decided to move the remains of the deceased to a series of underground tunnels that had been created to mine limestone for building materials. These tunnels became known as the Catacombs of Paris. Years passed and the catacombs became a popular attraction for those seeking adventure and excitement. People would venture into the tunnels to explore and pay their respects to the dead. However, one group of young people decided to take their visit to catacombs to a whole new level. They entered the tunnels with the intention of holding a seance to communicate with the spirits of the dead. The seance began, and the group called out to the spirits of the dead, inviting them to make their presence known. At first, there was no response, and the group grew nervous. But then, suddenly the candles flickered, the air grew cold, and the group heard a strange noise coming from the darkness. They tried to leave, but the tunnel seemed to stretch out in front of them, becoming longer and longer with every step they took. As they continued to move deeper in the catacombs, they began to realize that they were being pursued by something dark and sinister. The sound of footsteps echoed behind them, and the air grew colder and colder. The group began to panic, but they were unable to find their way back to the entrance. Days later, the authorities found their bodies in the catacombs. They were all huddled together, their faces frozen in terror. Aokigahara Forest. First on our list is Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Sea of Trees. It is considered scary due to its association with death and suicide. The forest is located at the northwest base of Mount Fuji in Japan and is known for its dense vegetation and maze-like paths. It is also one of the most popular suicide locations in the world. One incident reports a young couple who decided to take a hike through the forest, fascinated by its beauty and wanted to explore its secrets. As they made their way deeper, they noticed that the sound of their footsteps was the only noise they could hear. As they continued, they came across an old shrine. The couple approached the shrine, curious about its history, but as they got closer, they felt a sense of dread wash over them. Suddenly, they heard the sound of footsteps coming from the forest behind them. They turned around, but there was no one there. The couple started to feel a sense of unease and decided to turn back. But when they tried to retrace their steps, they found that the trail they had taken was no longer there. They were lost in the forest. The couple started to panic, and as the sun began to set, they realized that they were not alone. They could hear whispers coming from the trees, and they felt as though they were being watched. Days went by and no one had seen or heard from the couple. When they were finally found, they were huddled together, their faces frozen in terror. The authorities could not explain what had happened to them. The couple was never seen again, and their story lives on as a warning to all who dare to enter that forest. Would you dare to visit any of these sites? Let us know in the comments. If you liked today's video, hit the like button and watch another one of our videos on screen now.